What up? How are you guys doing? Are you guys fine? Everybody's hearing me? I think the camera is... Maybe this is better? No. This is better. Are you muted or is that just me? I have no idea, dude, because like the stream here shows that the mic is working. I can hear at least it was me. Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, because I see the mic here. Shaved Gonda looks nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I have to let it grow again because I shaved, but cause I was like tired of my beard, but then I was like, it doesn't look so good. So I have to let it grow. So, how are you guys doing this fine evening? Shaved as well, need my beard back, oh yeah. Another viewer, Evil, Idamara, Jonathan, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are doing well. So for today, today I wanted to do the Shark PCB, right? I was supposed to do the Faraday60 PCB yesterday because I had some nice advancements on it, and I wanted to finish the simulations today and maybe start designing the new PCB because I had the first PCB works, but it's not, I didn't like quite how the circuit turned out, and I didn't quite like how the whole thing really turned out. So I wanted to do something that's better than the first one, and I think I have just managed to do that. It's gonna be quite nice. Hope you guys enjoy today's stream. So, what happened? We had some problems with the old Faraday60 circuit, right? Let me show you guys. Faraday. Yeah, so this was the initial circuit for the Faraday60. Sorry, this is the final circuit. The problem being that in the initial circuit, these amplifiers here, they were taking up too much current, right? And this whole circuit here works for a single key. So this will have to be repeated maybe hundreds of times on a PCB, and we have to have it not consuming so much current, right? I can't stay, but I wanted to pop in. Lagilandia, well, how are you doing? Welcome, my dude. I can't stay, but I wanted to pop in. Your presence is duly noted. Thank you so much for being here with us, my dude. And Faraday60 is an electrocapacitive board, I guess. Yeah. So Faraday60 is my attempt to tackle the custom Topra thing. Good, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm going, dude. Not 100%, but I'm going. Hope you're doing well too. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Anyways, friend. Hey yo. How are you doing, dude? So Faraday60 is my attempt to do electrocapacitive. The problem with Topra PCBs, I have a this is an HHKB PCB, and the problem with this PCB is that the heart of the PCB, which is the capacitance sensor, uses a proprietary IC, which I believe is this one, 1684. Yeah, is this IC here on the on the left part of the PCB, and this is proprietary. Only Topra can has access to this. So what happens is that there is no way we can replicate this because we don't have the chip. We can't buy the chip anywhere. No one sells this. This chip is only available to Topra. So what happens is that we have to develop a whole new circuit of to to tackle the problem. This is not to say that we don't know how it works, because we perfectly know how it works. The community has reverse engineered this PCB a long time ago. On the Faraday60 documentation, I link two threads. One that had many people, Matteo, Hasu. I don't remember quite remember everyone's name, but there were a lot of people there, and they all worked together. This was like a couple of years ago, and I have just seen the thread. And they effectively reversed engineered the FC660C PCB, which is basically the same PCB as the HHKB, right? The only thing that changes is the layout. This is not to know that we don't know how it works. We do know how it works. The problem is that we can't replicate it because we don't have the chip. We do know what every single chip does. We do know how every single chip does the job, but we can't. But we can replicate it. We can make custom versions of it. So in order to tackle the problem, we have had some people that. The problem was only solved when Hasu did his controller, right? The HHKBBT controller. But Hasu didn't replace the PCB itself. What Hasu did was he figured out how the PCB works and how the column and row signals come through the PCB, and they come through this connector here. I believe it's a GST. He figured out how that works, and then what his controller does is it mimics what the HHKB controller does, and the HHKB controller is the small PCB that has the hub. The controller, the keyboard controller, effectively is this one, and it also has the hub. I believe that the keyboard controller is this guy right here, and this one is the hub chip, right? So that's what happens. That's what happened. We can't replicate this. So what I tried to do is trying to come up with a whole new design that would tackle the problem. Now, this design not only solves the problem, but it's even better than the stock Topra, at least in my opinion. But you know, I'm biased to know because it's mine. It solves the problem better because of reasons that I really can't let's just leave it at that. It solves the problem better. If you want to know the details of how it solves the problem and what is the problem with the Topra PCB, please read the documentation. But it does solve the problem better. But this design has a big flaw, which is you might see, it's immediate to see that it's freaking huge, right? And we have to replicate that circuit that you're looking at. That's a single switch. We have to replicate that circuit for every single switch out there on the PCB. So what we have to do is not only design a circuit that works, and let me know, it was freaking horrible to design that circuit because it's a very fast circuit, but we have to make it so that it's small enough to fit 100 of those in the PCB. Not only that, electrocapacitive sensing has a problem, which is it's very difficult to sense capacitance. So I don't know if this PCB is, it probably isn't, because looking at it, it is a very cheap PCB apparently, but this PCB will probably be 4-layered. It won't be 2-layered, because this PCB here probably, I don't know for certain, but looking at it, I can bet that this is double-layered, which means that it has a copper layer here and it has a copper layer on the bottom. Faraday60 will be so much better and so much more sophisticated that it is a 4-layer to work out for signal integrity reasons and routing reasons. So I'm trying to make something of quality to this community and to solve the problem effectively. But what I still don't know, and something that might be open, is the price. Maybe this won't be as cheap as a DZ60, but hey, people are spending $80 on their Hasu controllers, so I think that they will be, you know, how can I say this, able or willing to spend maybe $60 or $70 on a whole new PCB. can you reuse any components between two switches? Kind of. What happens here is this, and I'll try to explain this. Then again, if you want to know the inner workings on detail of how exactly this works, please read the documentation. I wrote the documentation so that whoever is interested in knowing how this works could know the nuances. But what's happening here is, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, it's simulating? Yes, it is. Awesome. So what's happening here is this. This here, let me delete this. This here is the switch capacitor, right? What happens in a Topra is that the switches, they are variable capacitors. So the farther you press the switch, the higher the capacitance is. So that when the switch is fully pressed, the capacitance is equal to 6 picofarads, and at the point of actuation, the switch is at roughly 2.2 picos, right? So this capacitance here varies with the pressing of, with how far you press the switch, right? This first stage here, what it does is it transforms the capacitance value in a sine wave, and I'll show you in a moment what this means. This second stage here is what we call a rectifier, and what a rectifier does is it transforms a voltage sine wave into a voltage continuous direct current wave. How do you feel about the way the Conundrum handled the AC problem? That's the problem with a custom Topra. I'm not shitting on the Conundrum. It's amazing that they did figure it out, but they still tried to mimic how the HHKB did it. So not only they tried to mimic a circuit that's not really good at doing it, but they also didn't do how it's supposed to be, which is the way that the HHKB does. The problem being that this way is really impossible to do because they don't have access to the goddamn chip, right? So I feel it's awesome. It's awesome that they were able to handle it. I feel a little bit sad that they didn't open source it. It would be freaking amazing if they could open source that work and we could see what they did. It would be fucking awesome. But they didn't, and I did ask him. If he could open source it, and he didn't. So that's it, I guess. The Conundrum also had other problems, right? So he wanted to do an auction, and and now that's a critique. That's a critique on how he handled the business model on the Conundrum. He tried to do an auction, and that's not good. That's not good at all. I thought it was a very bad business decision. That's what it did. But technically saying, it's awesome that they were able to replicate it. And I know how they did it. I did study the HKB, and I know how I could replicate this design, but I chose not to because I think that this is not a good way to solve the problem. Give Louis Rossmann 10 minutes and he will find a Chinese black market seller for that chip. The problem with that is that Louis Rossmann repairs stuff, so he can do that. So if you have a cell phone and it blows up and you need to fix it, you can agree to what at least in the US they have a law that's called the right to repair. And that's becoming a thing, right? They are having lots of discussions about that, of making that right to repair thing bigger, state and union-wise. But I, as a consumer, I have a right to repair. So Apple can sue me if I obtained a chip that's only supposed to be them. They can do that. That's different from designing something with that chip. That's completely different. Designing something on that chip to use the chip and get money from that's legally speaking, that's no bueno, really. So I could do that. I could, because my thing here, I'm not selling anything, I'm just designing it, but it doesn't make sense because if I design something that's not legal to do and use, no one's gonna use that and no one's gonna be able to have access to that. So doesn't make sense. Can you reuse any components between the two switches? I'll show you in a moment which ones that I use. What sets the capacitance of the switch? The treble. The switch treble. The farther you press, the higher the switch is. So when the switch is bottom out, the capacitance is 6 picofarads, roughly, around that. What makes the switch have 6 picofarads and not, say, 10? That's a deep question. Capacitance is actually an effect that happens when you have an electrical field between two conductors. And the value of capacitance depends on geometry and It's dependent on geometry. What makes the capacitance have that value is the way that is the geometry of the problem, is the geometry of the pad, is the geometry of the spring. What makes the capacitance is the spring, right? Because when the spring is very far, I have some here, but I don't want to take them. When the spring is very far, the electric field that's made between the spring and the pads is low. When it's nearer, the fact that it's nearer makes for a higher capacitance. So like this. When you say that I have two plates, two metallic plates that are charged, right? Two metallic plates that are charged. And the capacitance between these two metal plates is given by epsilon, and epsilon being the, how it's called in English, the electric permittivity of what's between them, the insulator between them, times the area divided by the distance between them. So the nearer that they are, the higher the capacitance is. So that can explain in terms why the capacitance is higher when you press the switch down, because the distance between the coil, the spring, and the PCB is lower, and that makes capacitance higher. Why that particular value? Because of the geometry. Because the spring is that specific geometry, the pads are that specific size. It has actual CDs in reach in 2020. Oh, that's because of this bad boy here. I had a neighbor that was selling it for like less than $50. It was like $40. And I bought the matrix chip, and I put the matrix chip in it, and I download the games and burn them onto DVDs and play the games. So that's why I have DVDs, in reach. It's kind of like a magnet. The closer they are, the harder they pull together. That's exactly the idea. Yeah. Barely recognizing you all clean shaven. Yeah, but it's not gonna be long, really. In like a month, I'll just have my full attire back. Don't worry, old Gondo will, old Sir Gondo that drinks with the pinky up will still be back one day. But okay. So what's happening here is this. It's basically this, right? Okay, Spice has crashed. So it wouldn't be reasonable to use one rectifier for multiple switches with different capacitance. That's the thing. I tried to do something like that would switch the. That's actually what the HHKB does. The HHKB has a single sensor that works for all the switches, and the way that it switches the switches out, the capacitance out, is through multiplexers, and then it demultiplexes the switches. The problem with that is that the sensor that they're using, the heart of the circuit, which is the sensor, is the proprietary circuit. So what I'm doing here is basically making a sensor for every single switch. We can't, or could we? We could figure out a way to multiplex this here into every single switch, but then it wouldn't be QMK compatible. That would be the problem. So yeah, that's the thing. Generic Pan, Ahegano. Hey, what's up? Carlos Gober, yeah. Carlos Gober. I tried to switch out multiplex the capacitances. The problem is that it's really hard to do that it's really hard to do that with analog switches that we have, because they also have capacitance. If I add this analog switch that I'm adding here, it has a capacitance too, and this one is very, very low, so this capacitor here really influences how the circuit turns out and messes the whole thing up. This looks crazy, but I'm so excited to see how it turns out. Yeah, this whole thing here, what I'm doing now is I finished the circuit. The circuit works. The thing is, the problem is that it's taking too long to make the simulation. But what you need to know is these sines here, these sine waves here, are sine waves for the different capacitances. So this green here is for when you don't press anything, which is 0 farads. The blue one is for 1 picofarads. This red one is at the point of activation, which is 2.2. This green one is for 3. It was going to simulate for 4, 5, and 6, but the numerical method is giving us issues, I guess. Let's see if I can... Yeah, it's having issues simulating, and I have no idea what. Singular matrix. See, it's having a hard time simulating, and I have no idea what. I'm just trying to run the simulation so I can show you guys. Apparently it's working very slowly, or not, I guess. So this is for 0 farads. Like, you see the freaking there we go. See, so this here is for 1 picofarad. You see that the sine wave here is very little. It has like, let's wait. See? And this is for 2.2. This is at the point of activation. So it has 2.2 pico. You see that it's higher than the 1. And then we go for, let's see, this is 3 picos, and it's even higher. So that's what happens when, that's what happens as the capacitance changes. It transforms this, what the circuit here does is it transforms the capacitance into a voltage sine wave. And you do that because it is effectively a capacitance to voltage conversion. It converts the capacitance value to a voltage level, and that we can work with. We can process that voltage level in, you know, any way we want. Let's just finish the simulations and and yep, awesome. So this last one here is for 6 picofarads, which is the switch bottom out. And it does, and it simulates. Awesome. So this is the end of the circuit, right? So it's at this point here. Now, what this second phase does is it transforms this sine wave here into a DC voltage, right? So you see that it's charging, and then in the end, it's a continuous voltage. So what I'm doing is transforming the capacitance to a DC voltage. So this is for 0 farads, which is 0 volts. This is 1, 2, 3, 2.2, 1, 2.2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So now we have something that literally converts a capacitance to a voltage. and it takes 100 microseconds to do that. Once you press the switch, it has 100 microseconds. A microsecond is a thousandth of a millisecond. It's very, very fast, right? And I have this little net here, and what it does is that it filters out the peaks, right? And awesome. And then what it does, and then this last phase here, whatever, what it does is it compares this voltage to a voltage that is default, right? So whenever the capacitance voltage rises up to this blue line, this guy here rises the voltage, right? So you see that for 0 and for 1, the voltage is not high. But for 2.2 and for the other, all the voltage, it gives us a higher voltage, see? And what this higher voltage does is it makes this LED here, you see this diode here, this LED, it conducts current. Now, what's this component here is what we call an optocoupler, an optic coupler. Shadowfax, subscribe. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh, guys, talking about Shadowfax, I forgot it. My new tools for the Austin, they are arriving here probably this weekend. No guarantees though, because the Brazilian Post Company is in a strike, so we never know when that's arriving. But it's arriving soon, and if it arrives still this week, I'm going to do the build stream of the Shadowfax's Austin on the weekend. And then what this optocoupler does is, when this diode does not conduct current, this transistor here does not conduct current. When this guy conducts current, it sends an infrared light that makes this guy conduct current. And this guy here is what ties the column to the row. So in QMK, what happens is that when you press a switch, a diode connects the column to the row. That's why we use the diodes, right? This is the same thing. This is a diode, in this case a transistor, but a bipolar transistor is basically a diode, right? Two diodes back to back, and it connects the column and the row. So what happens here is that this part here, this third stage here, the comparator and the optocoupler, are what makes this circuit here, this circuit here can be compatible. So that's the big, how can I say this? The big, how can I say this? I have no idea. That's the big take. Okay. That's the big take on this circuit here. And that's per switch. That's the problem. All of this here is one switch. So we have to design a circuit that is very, very small. Like ridiculously small. But Uncle Gondo got you. I got you, homie. So I was having how can I say this, problems, I guess. I was having problems with some voltage comparators, with some voltage levels, and Lagalandia helped me with what I needed. The optocoupler is for galvanic disconnection. That too. The thing is, all of the circuit here is analog, and it's very delicate. If you have like a polluted ground, if they're not isolated properly from the digital part, which is the MCU part, that can lead to some problems. So having a galvanic isolation is also good practice. And what happens is that if we do, for example, a 4 layout PCB, we can do a stack up so that the top part of the PCB is a digital and the bottom part is analog, so that you isolate both parts galvanically and you isolate both grounds. So that also makes the circuit more stable. You design it for the first, then replicate for the others. Yep, that's the thing. So yeah, it works. Yeah, but fitting so many components is hard, and having so many is also expensive. I got you, homie, I got you. So, capacitors and resistors, they're cheap expensive. They're fractions of a cent, right? So they're very, very, very cheap. The problem really is the amplifiers and the diodes. However, there is a reason why I used these particular amplifiers here, the LM324, and there is also a reason why I use this particular diode here, which is the BAT54, and I'll show you why. The thing is, when you start doing something that's very space constrained as this design is, you also start having problems with components, right? I have it bookmarked here. So this is the amplifier. This little package here that is 3 millimeters by 3 has all of the amplifiers. So these 4 amplifiers here are all inside this ridiculously small thing. And the diodes, this guy here, this little package here has 2 of them. Let me show you. The plugin just made. Freaking Chrome plugin. So the 4 amplifiers are inside a 3 millimeter by 3 millimeter package, and the diodes, they are inside this one. See? So this little package here has 2 diodes inside it. What I'm trying to find, I have no idea if I can, is finding a package that has 4. I don't know if that exists, but if it does, it will help us immensely, right? Let's search if there is one. Four-in-one Schottky diode. One day AFK and I missed the PG drama. Can't you make a movie of it? Dude, just read what I put in the server there. Everything is there. Is there a package that has 4 diodes? I missed a couple streams and got no shapes. You missed it, dude. You see 36111M. Let's take a look at that. But you see, there isn't an option to find one that has 4 inside. So let's search for the package and see. Not this one. BAS 40. Let's take a look at those ones that you guys sent. And oops. Yeah, see the problem here? This one costs 80 cents a pop. So if we have 100 of them, it's just $80 on this. So that's the problem. This would be wonderful though. This would be exactly what we needed, but it's way too expensive, unfortunately. Let's take a look at Czars. These nuts? No, not those ones. Sorry. This part number is not currently available on Mouser. Product maybe. Let's search for this. Hail Satan. Yep. Too expensive, dude. We need something that's very, very, very cheap. The ones that I had cost like a fraction of a cent each. So yeah. Nope. 4 times SOD. Yeah, that's the thing. We use 4 times something that's ridiculously small. That's what I was trying to do. Or we use the SOT23 package that has 2-in-1, which is also nice to use, right? Holy shit, this is huge. Let's take a look at yeah, I'm so lazy, so I just used SOT123 FLs. Yeah, the 123 is already too large for us. We need something that is really smaller. Isn't there anything that's like cheap? Too expensive, dude. Like, what the fuck? Would be awesome to find something though. On Arrow, maybe. Where is that? Where is the... Increments of 3,000. Minimum 3,000. 2,000? This is... How can I see this in fucking... Oh, okay. So $500? No, way too much, dude. That's way, way too much. We need something that's 4-in-1. Nope, that's not us. SOT666? No, it can be any package as long as it's small. If we can find 4 of them, that would be amazing. BAT5, let's see that one. Oh, he did it! He fucking did it. Let's see that. Oh, dude. I fucking love you. We need the ones that has a pair which is back front to back, right? So let's see, which one do we need? We need this one here, 54 SDW. Yep, see? This is the one that we need. Oh, even better. Hold on. We could use this one here, see? CDW, no, fuck me. BRW, we could use this one here. Is that here? No, just CDW. Well, yeah, we can't use this one, can we? No, we can't. That's too bad. Well, just CDW are cheaper. Yeah, the problem is that we can't use CDWs, see? Because our circuit needs that they are joined front to back. So we could use this one and we could use this one. S, not C, okay, but it's not here, is it? No, it's not. Let's check somewhere. BAT54. Ooh, and the nice thing is that it's the same. Fuck you, man. You're. I love you. Give me a fucking kiss. It's the same one that we are using, just in a different fucking package. Oh my god. I'll suck your cock. Okay, so BAT54 SDW. Okay. I mean, it's fine. The price. Let's see the other one. Nah, not you. Oh, they are there. S. Let's just BAT54. Fuck, there are a lot of them, aren't there? Dude, this is fucking perfect. Look at this. This is 2 cents a pop. Oh my fucking god, this is awesome. 4 cents a pop. Yeah, that's the one, Chief. That's the one. Oh, awesome. I love this, man. Okay, we might need to do the symbol. I think that's the one. I didn't see that one on Kite yet. So I might need to make the symbol for it. But we'll make it anyway. Fuck that. Hell fucking yeah, dude. Hell fucking yeah. Okay, so the circuit is ready. It works. Okay. The other thing that we needed, this one is not on the documentation yet. This is the oscillator, right? This voltage here, that's 100 kilohertz, 2.5 volts standard, 2 volts amplitude, sine voltage. It's generated by this circuit here. This circuit here is, this is what we call an oscillator. This is a circuit that produces a sine wave. The problem being that the exact sine wave that this circuit produces is not good. So what we use then are these two guys here called filters. This is our filter. This is a low pass and this is a high pass. These are both second order filters. I think these are Butterworth topologies, both of them. That's what generates the sine voltage. These ones can be common for all of the circuit. So I think it was eventual to ask if we can use one for everyone. These guys, yeah, these guys we can use one for every single, like all of the circuit uses this, only this one huge circuit here. I don't know if you can hear me because the bit